couple messages for the viewers, so pick a section, have a seat. Yeah, I know this is different. Quit with the questions. Allow me a second, please, to make my first impression.
YouTube, welcome back to another Pounds 978 Customs video, and today we got the 6-armed Spider-Man from the Kingpin Build-A-Figure wave. Most anticipated figure for Spider-Man collectors, to say the least, especially those of us who grew up watching the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. This is when he really made his appearance to us, but glad to get him. Here's some side artwork. Nothing special, it looks pretty standard, but I do like how it looks. And straight to the back, hoping to cure his spider powers, Peter Parker drinks a special mixture and wakes up with 4 extra arms. 6-armed Spider-Man. And you see that the back is different from the figure. The figure's lines are indented and these are protruding, but we'll talk about that. And these are the figures that come in the wave. But look at that, it's just different. Wow, finally a 6-armed Spider-Man. Looks great to a degree. I like this figure, man. I swear, I don't want to come off negative because I am, and I wanted to try to stay super positive about this figure, but oh, such a failure. All right. Let's start with the positives. For one, the figure does look really good. The 6 arms, the version they decided to go with the bare arms, that looks really awesome. The sculpt around the arms looks pretty decent. There's a little issue, and I'll probably get to that. It's not even an issue, so whatever. But the figure looks great. It looks great. It has most of its articulation. There's not too many accessories. No accessories if you don't want to include those arms as accessories. I do. Arms and hands aren't cheap, so those are accessories to me. The figure that they went with just baffles me. Like, not even just that, but the ab crunch and then the waist swivel. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back to what I like about it. The blue is really nice. The red pops. I like the red. I like the blue. It's painted pretty fair. The bare arms are cool. The fists are okay. I don't need any extra arms or unmasked head. I don't need that. I like the way it looks. Whether if the webs were embossed or indented, it wouldn't make a difference to me as long as the webs are visible. I would have preferred them painted than any of the other 2 choices. Now to the things that I find disturbing. 2 major things that are disturbing that we already knew, and one that's pretty minor. The unpainted webs. That's a fail. It's excusable, I guess, to a degree, but not like this. Like, if you're not going to give us the ab crunch or the waist swivel, at least you can paint the webs. And it was the same problem with Spider-Ham. I feel like those 2, whoever came up with Spider-Ham and this guy, must have been the same person. I don't know who's, and I'm not bashing anyone on that team, because Lord knows I wish to be there, but someone should have stopped them from putting this out. This is not what we want. I know it's aimed for kids, and I know a lot of kids are going to pick this up and still like it because it is pretty cool, but it doesn't meet the standard requirements for Marvel Legend, and for me, that's a big no-no. If you don't have the standards, then pull it off the shelf and let's try again. You could do it. It's doable. You can definitely add a waist swivel and a diaphragm joint in there. May my opinion be wrong about this figure. Does everyone else love it? Will this fly off the shelf and will it sell out? Will it be one of those figures that'll be worth a ton of money in the future? Maybe, because it is an awesome looking figure and a lot of kids are gonna be duped and pick it up. And I hate to say that word, duped, but it is. That's what's happening. And I'm only being honest because I don't want to lie and say this is an amazing figure and it's worth your money. I mean, I paid $15.99, so yeah, it's worth $15.99. And maybe I'm being a hypocrite here because even I picked the figure up and spent my money on it, and that kind of certifies that the figure is worth it. And so I can't tell you guys not to spend your money on this figure. If you like it, then by all means, pick one up. It does look cool. I just think that if we continue to support this type of stuff, it will continue to happen, and we'll just continue to get figures with less paint and less articulation, and it's just not fair. I guess I'm taking it more personally because I know deep down inside it could be done better. I've seen customizers do it better themselves, and although they use the pizza spider mold and people say the shoulders may protrude, I've seen people sculpt around those shoulder blades, shoulder ball pegs or whatever. Shout out to TXT Customs, who I've seen do a remarkable job on his 6-armed Spider-Man. And shout out to Dewdog and shout out to Life with Brock, because these guys have also made 6-arm Spider-Man to the point where it made me jealous. And I wanted to try, and I even, I hacked up a Jackal body, and I did all right, but it just wasn't right. So I understand it's not easy to put this together, but a diaphragm joint and a waist swivel would have served this figure so much, just like it would have been perfect almost. And yes, the body they used, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, wasn't a good choice. They should have used the Pizza Spider-Man body. You can see that the pattern on the blue is not the same on the arm. Let's see if I can pull it up a little closer. Now, I'm being a little nitpicky. This is no big deal. But you can see that the arm pattern has little circles that pop out. And then on the waist, the circles are indented. Kind of like the opposite of each other. Kind of like exact opposites almost. So you see how those indent in these honeycomb patterns? And then the fabric sculpt around the bare arms pop out. No big deal, I just thought I'd mention that. Haven't seen anyone else talk about it. For the most part, the paint on the logo is clean. It may not look so clean because you're looking at it from a microscopic level, but from the eye, it looks pretty clean. Same thing here. You may see the fuzziness, but you won't see that. Up close comparison from the Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure and the 6-arm Spider-Man. Same figure. The tones of red are different, and this has, whoa, some dirt.
Don't do drugs, kids.
By now, most of you know that the 6-arm Spider-Man is pretty much a reusage of the Amazing Spider-Man parts. The legs, the hips, everything from the hips to the lower legs, and from the arms, and even the head. The only thing different is the upper torso and the lower torso. It's brand new on the 6-arm. And it had to be because it's way too thin on this Amazing Spider-Man. And I'm not gonna lie, for a time, the Amazing Spider-Man was my favorite figure to play around with because it articulated so well. It's just ugly at those butterfly joints, but it did move pretty good. And I did like it. And keyword, did, because when the Pizza Spider-Man came out, it blew this one out of the water. And I don't want them to go backwards because I feel like it's almost going backwards. It's taking one step forward to take 2 steps backwards. Does that make sense? Remember this guy? The old doppelganger? I'm not even sure what line this is from or who made this figure. But I thought it was so cool that I decided to keep it when I started a comic shop. And it's really outdated, but this new 6-arm Spider-Man feels no better than this outdated doppelganger. Yeah, I'm lying. I'm exaggerating because the arms do bend and you do get some bendable knees. But for the most part, it's the same thing. Maybe this is just a personal thing, but I feel like even though he does have some points of articulation and no ab crunch, you can't really do much poses. There aren't many things to do. The best thing I could do is run. And that's barely because you can't twist the body. But, when you play with doppelganger, you understand from how dated it is that it's supposed to be like that. But the 6-arm man shouldn't be like this. I don't know. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Oh, this Goro crushes the 6-arm Spider-Man, and I know it's a bad comparison because it's a far more expensive figure, but it shows that it could be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public service announcement. Please do not do what this idiot has just done. He just brutally slammed the box on Spider-Man, and now his eye looks a little beat up, along with his feet.
Yes, I know it's not fair to compare Goro with this 6-arm Spider-Man, but what I want to tell you is I traveled to New York Comic Con, and I say travel even though New York's not too far away, but I saved money. I went with a friend of mine, shout out to Jay Schmierden. We went to Comic Con. I didn't sleep for like 48, maybe 50 hours. I was really panicky. I had a bad experience, although it was a fun experience. But my point is that for something that I knew was great, I was willing to travel the depths of the ocean to get it. And I'm very satisfied. Even though I could have ordered this a month later on Big Bad Toy Store, I just decided to go out for the experience. And this figure is amazing. It's one of the best figures of the year. I haven't reviewed it yet. I want to do it with my brother because he's a Mortal Kombat fan. But this figure is how you do it. And again, I don't want to compare the two, but just the diaphragm joint alone, this has butterfly joints. Like, everything about this figure is amazing. And there are some flaws, you know, the feet. He can't really balance too well. You see me trying my hardest to stand him up. Like, how about a Build-A-Figure? Doppelganger, Man-Spider, and even the 6-armed Spider-Man could have done great Build-A-Figures. You've done Mantis and the chick from Black Panther. I forgot her name, Okoye, I think. But they're small Build-A-Figures. The 6-armed Spider-Man could have been a bit bigger as a Build-A-Figure, and people would have accepted it, or just find a new way to tool it and make it a Build-A-Figure. I get Kingpin was probably a better Build-A-Figure. Trust me, I don't know. I think the 6-armed Spider-Man would have done great, even though I think it's going to do great as a separate figure. So, again, don't quote me on none of this. This is just my personal opinion on it. I was just very anxious to get a 6-armed Spider-Man, knowing Goro was just beautiful. A little movement on the diaphragm joint and waist swivel will give it so much personality. And it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this is not a great figure at all. I do like the way it looks. I'm still going to keep it in my collection until I get another 6-armed Spider-Man somewhere down the line. And I apologize for all the harsh things I may have said about this figure and whoever's responsible for creating it, but you got to understand, from a consumer point of view, it just doesn't feel right. It's almost like just getting a Happy Meal without the burger. It's like you got the fries, you got the little cheap toy there, your juice is set on the table, but your burger's missing. And it's like, what am I going to do? It's almost like getting a ride to school in a limousine during school vacation. It's like having them brand new pair of Jordans for the first day of school, except they're 2 sizes too small. It's like going on a date by yourself with no money. It's like walking into a nightclub and everybody's dancing, but there's no music playing. It's like getting the brand new PlayStation 5, but it doesn't play discs. It's just looks pretty. And this is the best pose I can do with it. I hope I didn't change your mind or turn you off or bum you out as much as I am on this figure. It's just, again, something I really look forward to, and now that I got it in hand, it's just very disappointed in it. I am pleased with paying 15 bucks for it. So is it worth 15 bucks? It depends if you're really a Spider-Man completionist. If you're not, it's up to you. I would say no, honestly. But I do have it, so I couldn't say no and own it at the same time. But anyway, guys, if you have this figure and you like it or you don't like it, what do you and don't you like about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And feel free to subscribe for more Spider-Man content in the future. I think I need to repaint this guy, so I may have to paint his webs and retouch up his eye. Who knows?
If you choose to subscribe, you the man. Yes, you. Everyone below in the comments, yes, you too. Thank you very much for showing me love. Who knew? It's ironic how we think out the box for you too, right?